Everyone has a favorite gaming developer, but have you ever sat back and thought about what developers had the most influential track record in gaming history? What developers left the biggest impact on the industry as a whole, good, bad, or otherwise? Welcome to Chaos Gaming. Today, we're going to be talking exactly that. We're going to be taking a trip through gaming history and looking at the developers that shaped gaming forever. You guys let me know in the comments which of these developers is your favorite, which is your least favorite. Also, keep in mind, we're going to be talking about developers, not publishers, because there is a huge difference. If that sounds good, here we go. This month's giveaway is for your choice of a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. All you have to do to enter is drop a like, make sure you're subscribed, and leave a comment with your Twitter handle so we can get hold of you telling me which one you want. The winner is picked at the end of the month. Good luck. Let's start off today with Rockstar. This is an obvious choice. They made a name for themselves by creating incredibly detailed games every few years, and then supporting those games relentlessly. However, they used to be pumping out games every year or so, and even then, they were great ones. Rockstar was founded in 1998, and it started out with the original Grand Theft Auto, which was a top-down action game at the time that did pretty well. Then, they really got put on the map with GTA 3 in 2001, which was one of the first truly open-world 3D games ever made. They followed that up with GTA Vice City and then San Andreas. Plus, they were releasing other critically acclaimed titles like Bully and Max Payne on the side. Now, Rockstar may have slowed down their release frequency in recent years, but whenever they put a game out, you know it is going to be amazing, and they largely shaped the way open world games are made today. Next is Blizzard. Now, they've had a pretty dramatic fall from grace in recent years, but their impact on the industry cannot be understated. Blizzard was rounded out in 1991 as Silicon and Synapse. Then, they renamed to Chaos Studios. That's a cool name. And in 1993, finally, Blizzard. One of the first games Blizzard made was a little RTS game for the PC called Warcraft, Orcs and Humans, which was released late in 1994. It got some attention. It had good gameplay as well as a reliance on multiplayer, as multiplayer in RTS games was a pretty new concept at the time. Blizzard followed it up in 1995 with Warcraft 2. Then in 97, we got Diablo. Then in 98, we got StarCraft. Then in 2000, we got Diablo 2. Then in 2002, we got Warcraft 3. Then the winning streak hit an all-time high with World of Warcraft in 2004. The game that stomped out all competition in the MMORPG genre continues to do that today. Following World of Warcraft, Blizzard took a break from releasing new games, but that break came to a close in the 2010s. In this decade, we've gotten StarCraft 2, Diablo 3, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and Heroes of the Storm. Now, Blizzard has been heavily criticized in recent years for their business practices and their PR blunders, but there is no denying just how much they've done for PC gaming. Even though you may not like the drama involved with their games, their consistent quality can't be ignored. Next up is Mojang. Now, it may be a little unfair to put them here since they're really only responsible for one game, but that one game is Minecraft. So I have to put them on here. They started out in 2009 as this little studio in Sweden founded by Notch himself, and then quickly released the alpha version of Minecraft that same year. You know the story. Minecraft caught on very quickly in the PC crowd, and a couple years later, they started pumping out the console and mobile ports, and from that point on, there was no stopping the snowball. Minecraft continued to grow and grow through the internet and word of mouth, while Mojang was hard at work keeping the servers running, patching new content, keeping the modding community satisfied with even more content. Today, Minecraft is the best-selling game of all time. 200 million copies sold, and it's led to a handful of spin-offs like Minecraft Dungeons and Minecraft Earth. Now, none of the spin-offs have had the impact as the OG game did. Mojang has certainly left their mark on gaming forever. Next, we have Epic Games. You may not like Epic Games today. Some of you may. I get it. But in terms of the impact they've had on the industry, it's hard to deny just how much they've done. In terms of games, they've helped push the arena shooter genre forward with Unreal Tournament. They pretty much invented third-person shooters as we know them with Gears of War, and then they reshaped the gaming economy as we know it with Fortnite. But Epic's influence doesn't stop there because they're also responsible for the Unreal Engine, which is one of the most used engines in all of gaming development. The very first version of this was in 1998, and Unreal Engine 5 is currently in development. So while you may not like Fortnite, or maybe you don't like Epic Games as a store, they established themselves as one of the most important companies in gaming today, and they have shaped modern game design more than people give them credit for. Now we have Bungie. Oh, Bungie, another company that lost their way for a bit, but they've permanently changed the gaming world, and they're pretty well back on their feet now, I hope. They were founded in 91, and for the first decade of their career, they were pretty low-key, developing games like Marathon, Oni, and Myth. However, everything changed when they were recruited by Microsoft to turn their most recent project, which was a sci-fi military story, into the big new app for the Xbox. This project would be known as Halo Combat Evolved, the game that reshaped first-person shooters on console and helped usher in a new era of FPS storytelling. Bungie followed that up with Halo 2, which brought online multiplayer into the mix and completely changed how console games approached online play. Then, Halo 3, one of the biggest and most replayable games ever made. Then we had Reach, which had a lot of core fans that weren't keen on, and you guys know the story. They signed on with Activision to work on Destiny, and everything fast forward, and now they're back on their own, and life is good. At number 5, ID Software. Often referred to as the grandfathers of the first-person shooters, ID Software was founded in 91 as well. Started out with the lighthearted Commander Keen series, but in 92 they changed gaming forever with Wolfenstein 3D. It's widely considered as being the first modern FPS game, and that formula was expanded upon in 93 with the revolutionary Doom. Doom blew everybody away. The graphics, the speed, the level design, the gunplay, the soundtrack, plus with its distribution strategy, it could be installed on pretty much any computer in the world, which led to it being absolutely everywhere in the 90s. They followed it up with Doom 2, and then they decided to blow everybody's minds again with Quake, a completely 3D first-person shooter that followed a lot of the same philosophies as Doom, but even faster and with even more dynamic gameplay. Quake then went on to pretty much invent the arena shooter genre as we know it, and ID Software struggled, but they made a massive comeback in 2016 with the rebooted Doom series. They are one of the most important companies in the world when it comes to first-person shooters. At number 4, Capcom. Founded all the way back in 1979, Capcom has certainly been up and down in the eyes of the gaming community, but their bright spots are some of the brightest. In the late 80s, they were pumping out the excellent Mega Man games, and then there was Street Fighter II in 91, which established the formula for one-on-one fighting games, and it was an arcade juggernaut. It spawned a whole new wave of fighters. Then in 96, the world got its first taste of Resident Evil, which terrified pretty much every PS1 owner around that time. Then in 2001, we got Devil May Cry, which largely shaped the way the action genre would go in the years. It's no secret that Capcom hasn't always been on the top of things, and their success seems to come in waves. But they've managed to set trends the way that no other company, I think, can. They pretty much invented one-on-one fighting games. They pretty much invented survival horror as we know it, and they pretty much invented hack and slashers as we know them as well. Capcom may be inconsistent, but when they're on top of their game, they're untouchable. Next up is FromSoftware. Founded in 86, and while they did work on the Armored Core series and the King's Field series, they weren't really on many gamers' radar at the time. But then in 2011, they released a little game called Dark Souls that completely changed modern gaming. Dark Souls was critically acclaimed for the combat, the open world, a unique approach to storytelling that left everybody wanting more. And from that point on, FromSoftware focused primarily on Souls-like games, Bloodborne, Sekiro, all utilizing various iterations of their unique Dark Souls combat. So why is FromSoftware all the way up here? Well, because Dark Souls simply changed action RPG combat forever. Why do you think almost every melee-focused game now has a stamina meter? Why does every hard game now get compared to Dark Souls? Because they did something unique with the storytelling, and it innovated a new style of melee combat that you can now expect in almost every single action RPG that comes out. At number 2, Valve. They don't mess around. They take their time with their games to the annoyance of many gamers, but much like Capcom, when they bring their A game, nobody comes close. They were founded in 96, and in 98, they came out of the gate swinging with Half-Life, a revolutionary PC shooter that took a unique approach to storytelling and game design, while also making use of an impressive physics engine at the time. It didn't take long for fans of the series to get creative with the Half-Life skeleton and create this new multiplayer experience called Counter-Strike, which Valve was so impressed with that they bought it, gave it a bigger budget, turned it into their own franchise. Half-Life 2 was released in 2004, and it blew people away even harder than the first game did. It had improved graphics, physics, level design, storytelling, modding, and then Valve decided to branch out a bit with games like Portal, Gmod, Team Fortress 2, Left 4 Dead, all of which belonging to the wildly different genres, but all of them nearly perfect. They came into the 2010 strongs, Left 4 Dead 2, Portal 2, Dota 2, and CSGO, but that's when the hiatus began. They stepped away from the game design for a while in order to focus on Steam and the Source engine. Now, they've established recently that they're ready to come back into the design world, and earlier this year we got Half-Life Alyx, an incredible VR entry into the franchise. What's next? Who knows? And at number 1 today, Nintendo. Was there a doubt? Aside from the fact that Nintendo pretty much saved the gaming industry from the crash of 1983, they've given us countless iconic franchises that shaped gaming forever. It's actually been around since 1889 as a card and board game company, but they transitioned into video games in the early 70s and the 1900s. They were responsible for the extremely popular arcade game known as Donkey Kong. And then in 83, they took their chances with the Nintendo Entertainment System, which was home to classics like Super Mario, Metroid, Legend of Zelda. This was followed by the Super NES, which only grew the company's success and helped spearhead video games transitioning from the arcades to people's homes. The rest is history. I don't think I really need to talk much about what Nintendo has been up to or what they're doing, but there's no denying what they've done for gaming. Aside from pretty much saving in the 80s, they brought us Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Star Fox, Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, Kirby, Super Smash Bros. The list goes on and on. No company in gaming can bring people together the way Nintendo can. And for that, along with everything else they've done, I give them the #1 spot today. And there you have it. Those are the developers that shaped gaming forever. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like. Make sure you subscribe with all those notifications on and click the videos that are on the screen now. I'll see you soon.